we pride ourselves on work ethic, hard work, and enjoying the Big Bash. And it'll be nothing different this year. We know that last year didn't quite go to plan for us.
Yeah, like I'll put it on. I'll second screen it. I'll barely pay any attention to it, but there it is, just on.
No idea about cricket.
Hello and welcome back to Grab Some People season. Tilt Chains, it's been an entire year since we got off to a rollicking start in 2019 with the Bison before tapering off quite significantly, it's fair to say. But we're back with a little prelude to what's to come in the summer of 2020/21. Most importantly, Marlon Samuels has staked his claim to have the name of this show changed to Sextillion7thpower. And Warne's chimed in, as he always does, in one of the most relevant weird areas we've ever come across. Apparently the IPL is drawing to a close, so we better pretend to have taken an interest. And newly minted Melbourne star Will Pucovski is streets ahead of the Red Ball competition and looking irrepressible. But first, Jake, as this is a BBL-centric podcast and we are around 1 month away from the annual Bukkake of cricket, are you looking forward to it whatsoever? And you've got to be honest, because we like honesty and we need to be ourselves.
We do, Denim. Mate, it's good to be back. What an intro. It is fair to say that we did taper off a little bit there. I know we had a little bit of an identity crisis. We went fishing through some footy. But we're back to where it all began. And am I excited about the Big Bash? Not really. No, not really,
No.
mate. I think it's at such a strange time where it's kind of, it's like your old, a girlfriend that you had last summer or something, and you didn't really like her that much, but you kind of just have to, meet up with her again. And she lives in Canberra now, but she wants you to really enjoy her company again. And I think it's a bit forced. I'm more excited for the tests. I'm more excited about Pucovski, and to be honest, I couldn't give a rat's about the Big Bash.
Well, speaking of the tests, it's going to give the Big Bash a little bit of clear air at the beginning of the season because it is starting about 1 week earlier than the test matches, when usually
True.
It hasn't had that opportunity with the test matches starting in November, and they've been pushed back to get the Indians out here, obviously. So does that give it a bit of a chance to elevate itself in the public consciousness? Like, not yours, it sounds like, but
I hope so.
we have been deprived of cricket.
Yeah, I think we have. And look, I mean, coming out of a global pandemic, cricket is good. I will watch it, obviously. But, I mean, it's just not really something that's quite tickle. It just kind of came back around. It's like, oh, here we are. We're back with Big Bash in Hubs, in Canberra,
In Hubs.
Tasmania. So
Hub life.
not exactly the most appealing product that they're going to be putting forth, and I think we'll delve into it a little bit later. But Channel 7's media boss was going absolutely off at. He said it was a shambles, the Big Bash running organisation or whoever's in charge of it. So
It's Cricket Australia or the Big Bash? I know they've been taking aim at CA as a whole, but
yeah,
the Big Bash was criticised because they saying it's going to be a lesser product without the internationals that they would usually get out here. I don't know if there will be less internationals. They're all sort of signing on really late.
yeah.
But it's hard to say at this stage. One thing we don't know about is the playing conditions, because Dave Barham did that in-depth review of the tournament and the things that could improve it. And one of the suggestions we've touched on previously on the podcast was like the split innings, some of the quirky rules that are meant to keep the game alive for longer. And we don't even know if they're coming in. This has all been a bit slapdash this year.
Yeah, I think they're just like, well, we've got to do something, so here it is. And look, I mean, I'm sure I'm happy to be proven wrong. And as I said, I think they will get a few eyeballs on the television, but they didn't listen to any of the the tournaments too long. Oh well, let's just keep it the same. It feels a little bit forced, but look, it's cricket. It's here. It gives us purpose going forward, in a sense. So look, I mean, realistically, the reason that we really were excited to jump on today was just to kind of touch on.
Going on.
Oh, there is a bit going on, Denim, and Samuels versus Warne has been, and look, naming the the podcast Grab Some People was your idea, so I'll give you full credit. Are we responsible for the resurgence of Sextillion7thpower, or is this a completely isolated incident? I'd like you to indulge me, if you will, just to catch people up to speed if they did miss the exchange. I'll just read this one verbatim here. So we got Marlon Samuels has made another reference to the partners of England cricket players days after being slammed for an ugly remark about Ben Stokes' wife. Former West Indian batsman Samuels took to Instagram earlier this week to respond to comments made by Stokes, who said he wouldn't wish spending 14 days in isolation on his worst enemy. Wasn't the most enjoyable thing you ever have to do. That's my Ben Stokes. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I text my brother saying the same thing, and my brother said, "You wouldn't even do that to Marlon Samuels?" I said, "No, it's that bad." That's how tough it was. So naturally, Marlon has jumped on to defend his honour. And I can only read this verbatim, Denim, because I'm not sure if I can really do anything else with it without the lack of commas. No white boy could diss me in the sports, and no get back look at this bitch. Still thinking about me, give me 14 days with you, wife. Turn her into Jamaican in 14 seconds, mate.
We better just...
None of y'all
it's not for broadcast.
knows me. That's it. Oh, look, he said it. I'm not saying this is right.
It's out there.
It's
plenty
right.
more of it where that came from too.
None of y'all knows me. That simple means it's my fucking superior skin tone. Y'all hate. Fuck you. So that's coming in hot. It's
quite hot.
It's very hot. It's a big hot take there from Samuel. So this naturally delved into some sort of... Shane Warne tweeted out that he needs to go get some help and he has no friends, which I mean is also quite Warne of Warne. But did you see this flaring up? You've seen a lot of things happen unpredictable this year, but fuck mate, this was not one of them.
I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming at all. It's 2020, just add another thing to the pile. But Warne, that was the most on-brand tweet from Warne you can almost ever see. What was it? If just because you're an ordinary cricketer doesn't mean you have to be an ordinary bloke. And then the best bit was Samuel was filming himself hitting Warne for a few boundaries at the MCG on another iPhone and commentating it. And
is this the great Shane Warne? Is this the great Shane Warne? Oh, mate.
That was actually quite clever. I guess if you throw that much shit against a wall, some's going to stick. But, and then there was the other comments, the ones that you were just alluding to, the further comments about the English partners. There was a billionaire. Was he head of the ECB or something? And he had apparently partners of cricketers were sitting on his lap during a game and they were furious about it. And you've got Samuels posting the YouTube video of that saying, what was it? Big Stanford,
I will never forget you,
Mr.
Stanford. And I will never forget this day. All the English wives taking turns sitting in your lap. Why was this okay? Because he's a billionaire. Interesting.
So that's the summary.
Mate,
but was it all a marketing ploy, Jake? Because in the fallout, all we've seen since from Marlon is just references to his new fragrance, Sextillion7thpower, if you don't mind.
Oh, mate, look. I can only imagine how good this smells with all the hot steam dripping off it. The hot takes from Marlon just coming through on that. Look, there are some real good screenshots. He posts so much that I'm not going to be able to do any of this justice, but probably my favourite one on his Instagram that he's reposted, just a guy in his DMs, and I have tried to get onto Marlon. He hasn't returned my my messages, but Sextillion7thpower mindset allowed me to have sex with 7 females in the same hour, and he's received this, no less, replied, said, "That's just one effect, bro. Wait till you reach level 7. Now, I don't know what level 7 is, but goodness me, look out. There's Sextillion7thpower is on the loose. It's unstoppable. It's a superpower. And frankly, Denim, I wanted to get my hands on some because, I mean, look, it's been some dark times over here. Goodness me, I hate when people do that.
Yeah, right.
In these unprecedented times, Denim, I want to get myself on a bit of Sextillion7thpower just to see what all the fuss is about. So I Googled it. Naturally,
Yeah.
if you want to buy something, you Google it and it comes up and then you purchase it from the merchant. I Googled Sextillion7thpower. It just came up with a Wikipedia saying names of large numbers. So I don't know where I could buy. So naturally, I went straight to the source, which is SW23's stockist Chemist Warehouse. It's a big Australian national store. And I called around the traps and thought maybe, just maybe, I can get my hands on some Sextillion7thpower. Bear with me.
Take control of. Hello, Martina speaking. How I can help you?
Hi there. I was just inquiring about the availability of a fragrance that I've been hearing about. It's called Sextillion7thpower by Marlon Samuels. I was just looking for it for my brother.
I don't know nothing about this perfume. I might have to ask someone.
Oh, okay.
I've never even heard this.
No, that's okay.
What? She must not have seen the post.
Hello, are you sure it's Chemist Warehouse? Because nothing. saying with this perfume.
No, that's okay. Oh, I think it's just because you guys stocked the SW23. I thought that you guys stocked the other one.
Yeah.
'Cause, no, that's okay.
Yeah, it's alright. Okay.
Okay,
alright.
bye.
Okay. See ya.
Hello, this is Gloria. How can I help?
Hi, Gloria. How are you?
Gloria.
I'm good. How are you? How can I help?
Very well. I was just checking on the availability of a fragrance called Sextillion7thpower by Marlon Samuels. Placed a reasonably large order recently.
We don't carry that one.
Is that right? Do you know who does?
No, I'm not sure. I haven't heard that one. Sorry.
Ah, that's okay. Well, no, apparently it's very good with the ladies. So, no, I was just looking for a little bit of Sextillion.
Maybe you can try online.
Okay, that's all right. I'll give it a crack. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Chemist Warehouse, no, this
Persistent.
is Nara speaking.
Hey, you going? It's Shane here. I was just inquiring about the availability of a fragrance you've got there. Sextillion7thpower.
Sorry, it's really hard to understand. How was it called?
I could spell it for you. It's Sexti
EA?
Illionth.
Is it Sauvage?
No, it's by Marlon Samuels, if you know him. Have you heard of Marlon Samuels?
No, to be honest, but I'll just quickly ask one of my colleagues. Give me a second.
No worries.
Hello, Sophia speaking. How
Hi
can I help you?
Hi there. I was just wondering if you've got a fragrance there called Sextillion7thpower by Marlon Samuels.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Let me have a look.
What?
Now, what was it? What was the actual fragrance called again?
I think it's by Marlon Samuels. It's called
Yeah.
Sextillionth, like it's a big number. Seventh power.
Okay.
Nothing there. No, that's all right. No worries. I mean, no, Marlon's he's trying the fragrance game over here, and no, it's a. I don't think you guys are going to stock it anytime soon. It's just really hard to get a hold of at the moment.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's all right. No, that's fair enough.
Ah.
Yeah, not that we stock just yet, but definitely keep an eye out.
No
Yeah,
worries.
sorry about
I'll
that.
keep an eye out. Yeah. No, it sounds interesting, but nothing on the great SW23.
Yeah. No, easy. Excellent.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Fantastic. You too. Thank you.
She handled that well. Thank you, Jake. Thank you. That is really some of your finest work, and you can take
did some
that whichever
digging,
way
mate.
you like.
Look, I was just genuinely interested. Look,
Yeah, well,
she did sound quite interested about Sextillion.
Sophia, yeah, she did.
She's
Yeah.
she's definitely heard of it, but I'll keep my eyes peeled. I thought I'd go in there as give Marlon a little bit of a Warne dogging, and I'm sure Shane's done his due diligence. Due
Yeah, it'd be
diligence.
great to get him on a
Cool,
side by side on the podcast, and
Oh,
seeing as it's an audio medium and not a scented one. But speaking of Marlon, I was doing a little bit of digging, and there's not much on Marlon. I was looking to go back in early life and see where this rage comes from. All I can really get a hold of is he's got a lot of dogs. He's got 4 dogs, maybe 5 dogs. And he says he plays cricket for his dogs. He plays for his dogs, so.
Wow. That's
literally,
bold.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Mr. Majestic. Yeah, right.
And that's about it. So Pucovski's looking good. Pucovski's hit, he's seen him like beach balls. He's hit 2 centuries in a row and staked his claim to be in the Test team. Surely he's going to be opening in the Test team ahead of Joe Burns. You would have thought if he's
Shield?
good to go.
You've been watching the Shield?
Keeping up with the scores.
Yep.
Bit hard at work, but I've seen some highlights. Actually, I did go and make sure I watched
Pucovski's
highlights from yesterday.
Nice. That's good research.
He's got good hands, doesn't he?
He does.
Have you
I
caught any of it,
honestly
mate?
don't. I haven't been. I've always been tempted. I'll be on KO and I'll be flicking between a few things, and then I'll see like a WA v Taz, and I'm like, ooh, or a Vic v. It's not something that I've. It's something you need to get stuck into quite a bit. I remember I was watching, I think, the World Series of baseball, and I thought I'll dabble in some cricket, and I think I had it on for about 20 minutes, but I didn't really pay much attention because not much was happening. But regardless,
the scores and highlights can do it justice. It's one of the things you can just check in, drop in on every now and then, and
definitely
get a feel for.
Definitely,
and he's going to be a star. The boy Pucovski is a Melbourne star. Dave Hussey's got him on board there, the weird unit. So, I'm not sure we'll see him though at all. He's going to be at least part of that international setup. So,
I believe so. I think he's. I mean, runs speak for himself. Are they playing most of those games at Adelaide Oval, or all of them, or what's going on there?
No, mate. The schedule was released a couple of weeks ago. So Adelaide's getting the first test December 17. So as we said, 1 week after the Big Bash begins.
Oh no! Shield games. Shield games. Are they all being played in Adelaide?
Oh, sorry. Right.
That's what
all
I'm
in
about.
Adelaide. Yeah. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. No, you're forgiven. But yeah, I guess the Adelaide pitch has been pretty warm down here as well. So, can you read much into these big scores? Like everyone's hitting runs.
When Victoria hit that big opening stand with Harris, the record opening stand, in fact, with Harris and Pucovski last week. Was it SA they were playing? Well, they were bowled out for next to nothing. And New South Wales today were bowled out for 67, or was that yesterday? 67 they were bowled out for. So, no, I don't think that is something you can. I don't think you take these runs with a grain of salt. I think you take them at face value.
What was the Harris quote that you enlightened me with yesterday?
Harris quote.
The Marcus Harris quote. I think you said something like, "You can't just score hundreds. You got to make them big hundreds."
That was Tom. That was
I was fishing. I was like, I think that was him. Like, who else is talking about Sheffield?
I was there at your house, just as an aside, at Jake's parents' house yesterday doing some renovations because we're
did a bang up job. Yep.
Yeah, we arrived and I was straight on the paintbrush, and your great man Marcel, your old man, he just directed me to paint the fascia on the shed, and I've just started doing a fantastic job, and he's come over and said, "It's the wrong bit." No,
he went over. He just went, no. That's not it. Which I guess is a good little analogy for the Big Bash. It's like, oh, yeah, I'll put the cricket on. Oh, what's that? Oh, the Big Bash. No. Not for me.
Yeah, it wasn't
That's
great.
the wrong bit. Anyway, no, look, you did a bang up job there. I won't kiss your feet too much, but look, Will Pucovski, I will kiss his feet happily, and I love the look of him. I love that he's got his head.
Actually, speaking of the look of him, the long locks. Did you see him get the helmet off to celebrate the century? The long locks,
to roll it out.
Geez, they're wild. They're untamed, aren't they? They're blonde. He's got the surfer.
I want to get
New South Wales
a bit of hockey dad. Yeah, he's got that lead singer of a band look. Could probably do anything, Will. But he's just smacking runs. So look, at this stage, I'm thinking about dyeing my hair blonde, if it will mean hitting a few more runs in the Charity 2020. But that's a while away, so we'll pump the brakes on that idea. Denim, the IPL is on, and have you been keeping up with the IPL?
Somewhat, yeah.
Just
be honest,
the scores again.
Actually, I watched half a KO mini the other day.
Okay.
That was good. No, it's been a good tournament and it's been good to have cricket back, apparently. Not that I've been tuning in that much, but the Mumbai Indians are in the final against the Delhi Capitals, and that's Ricky Ponting's Delhi Capitals, isn't it? So they played each other the other day in the playoff, and Mumbai got up by 57 when Delhi's whole entire top three got skittled for naught. So they should put up a better fight than that. Yeah, really Boomer and Trent Bolt were ripping through them, and Marcus Stoinis made a stoic 65. But if they just, clean up that top order, they should be good for it. But I'm definitely rooting for the Mumbai Indians because I'm a big Mahela Jayawardene fan, and he's the head coach. So
is that right? What?
Yeah.
When
big fan.
I've never heard you mention Mahela Jayawardene. Are you?
We're more on that front soon.
Interesting. Do you want to keep that a secret?
Yeah.
We'll say there's a bit going on in the pipes.
No, we won't. We don't have to say that.
Oh, okay. No,
now, Jake,
don't overpromise. There's nothing going
absolutely
on.
Not
At all. Yes, Denim.
That's it. So we haven't had any segments yet. I would say that your Chemist Warehouse call, that could be our first BYO segment. That's one we're going to roll out this year where one person each week can BYO segment, bring their own segment, as it were. And you brought that sensational piece of footage
I don't know what I'd call that.
Just before.
Just really doing my due diligence. I'm going to have another crack at that phrase. And look, I really, really hope. I did message Marlon on the Grab Some People Instagram, and I tried to, GSP podcast for those of you who aren't following or have unfollowed us and since gone, these guys aren't doing anything anymore. Regardless, messaged him, didn't get a reply, just said, mate, I'd love to buy some in Australia, and just nothing at all. So I think for the future, maybe potentially a sequel later down the track, I'd like to call a Jamaican number or just somewhere in the vicinity of North America where I can buy this fragrance because I really want to get my hands on
Does
some.
it exist?
Do
we think it exists?
Is it a front? It could be. I've never seen anyone. I've never smelt it, and I'd love to. Anyway.
Have you seen a bottle? Have you seen the bottle?
I've seen the bottle, yeah, but it's all like very Photoshoppy. Like it's like on a little pedestal. It was like at his like launch. It's all like glamorous and shit.
No reason not to trust Marlon. I've got no reason not to trust him. So that's our first segment, BYO.
Yeah.
But one I think we'll add to the mix, just a real simple, grabbed my attention. So anything that grabbed your attention this week, Jake, around the traps?
Grabbed my attention. Yeah, I do. So what grabbed my attention? Look, many things other than the Big Bash, but I did see one very, very glimpsed an article reading the paper in a coffee shop. And it was something about a 15-year-old Afghan spinner, Ahmed Noor, being signed by the Melbourne Renegades after a 12-month scouting mission paid off. Now, Noor, who was born in 2005, Denim, in Kabul, Afghanistan, has signed on for the full season and is likely to play as many games as the new BBL fixture allows before Christmas, when Imran Tahir will also join the squad. And he's known as I found it captivating that he is 15 for one.
Has he played anywhere else? What do we know about him?
He played like under-19 World Cup. He actually man-catted someone in the under-19 World Cup, which was quite controversial. But he
was this the one when they all stormed off?
I don't know.
There was a big incident in the.
I'm unsure.
No, don't worry about it.
Under-19 World Cup against Pakistan. He ran out opener Mohamed Herrera after the match. Noor's Afghanistan captain considered it was not in the spirit of the game. There's nothing about them storming off, but regardless.
That's all right.
Being known as a mystery spinner is something that really, I mean, he's played one first-class match and 15 2020s in Afghanistan, and he's also represented them in the World Cup, but he's apparently been on the radars for more than a year, which Klinger said, Noor is someone we've kept tabs on for over a year. That is a fucking long time. What are you, are you personally doing that, Michael, or have you sent someone to Kabul to watch his one first-class game and 15 2020s in Afghanistan? That is huge. So if the Renegades are onto something, look, all power to them. This could be a player for the future and someone who comes back to the Renegades if he does like it. But apparently he spins the ball both ways. And he's
leggy.
Very exciting. Leggy, yep.
Leggy?
Yep.
Good.
I believe so. And he's got, there's like a little video of him in the nets in very densely weeded part of, I don't know, it's quite green there, so I'm not sure where that is. But yeah, look, social media went into meltdown when he did the Man-Cad, and hopefully he can make some more headlines there. But I do love my mystery spinners, Denim, so I'm keeping tabs on him as well.
Yeah, especially the teenage variety.
Yes.
Grabbed my attention. I've got one, and it's just a simple one. Dettol are sponsoring the short form internationals this summer, which seems pretty appropriate given where we're at. Dettol.
Dettol, have you heard of it? It's quite
It's a good
popular.
move from Dettol.
It is.
Yeah,
No,
for disinfecting viruses, etc.
to be fair, I think it was on an episode of Gruen, which is very off-brand for this podcast, but they were talking about how Dettol have really cashed in on the movement. Some companies trying to do it as well, like Dove, which has claimed forever that they're not a soap, but now in the face of a global pandemic, when there's money to be made, well, in the past, Dove is more like a lifestyle, I guess. They have now claimed that they are soap, and they will wash your hands and disinfect them. So, Dettol, I think the front runners in the power rankings of sanitizers. I think I'm always going to reach for a bottle of Dettol rather than like a mystery. You know that zhuzh stuff, or the stuff that really smells like you've been, I don't know, 50
I haven't had Dettol since I was a kid, but used Dettol, that is. Haven't had it ever.
I haven't even used the hand
consumed
sanitizer.
No, I've used I've soaked myself, when you got to scrape your knee as a kid. Yep. And you had to soak in the Dettol bath, and you got that smell that just filled up the entire house. That's my recollection of Dettol. But yeah, they do have other products, don't they? Other sanitary products. So
they do. They don't sponsor this podcast,
good
but they will soon. Good. Grab my attention there.
Actually, speaking of sponsoring, and this one's not relevant at all, but speaking of sponsoring podcasts and companies sponsoring podcasts, there's one company that's been sponsoring podcasts a bit more lately than they ever have. And I won't name it, it's just a big tech company, a seller of tech company. They're probably more in Australia, but they sell
why aren't you naming it?
Computers and all this.
What's the secret?
Because we don't want to slander or have anyone lose their jobs or anything, so we'll be kind about it. But
sorry.
Just in preparation for the podcast, I was down there and I was grabbing a hard drive to move all the files of this computer, start afresh for season 2 Chains. And pretty indecisive guy, so I went to the hard drive aisle, and there's like all different sizes. I'm weighing up the price for the size, and then there's one that's for a Mac. I use a Mac, so I need the one that, I'm thinking I need the one that says for Mac. Costs an extra $30, but I'll get that one. Took about 10 minutes to make my mind up because I'm just that kind of guy. I go up there with the box because, when they've got expensive things, and hard drives are sort of expensive, I guess, and they've just got the box and it's empty, and they say you've got to take this to the counter.
Yeah.
And we'll give you the hard drive. Yeah, right. So
theft issue.
I take it up to theft issue. I'll take it up to the counter, $130 hard drive. She goes into the cupboard where they're all stored, spends 3 minutes rummaging through it, and there's nothing. She comes out, she's like, we've only got the 5 terabyte ones that are fucking expensive. So it's like, all right, don't worry about it. I'll go back to the aisle, spend another 10 minutes deciding on the remaining ones that are all Windows, and you got to format some of them. I don't want to have to do that. Anyway, I go back with my next box, a different girl. I'm like, here you go. And then she has a look, comes back. Oh, we don't have that one either. And I'm like, do you guys just leave the boxes when they're sold out on the aisle? And she's like, oh, yeah, well, we're supposed to put, the first thing she said was, oh, yeah, there's nowhere else to put them. There's nowhere else to put them. And we're supposed to put sold out stickers on them, but it's really hard to keep up. I said, it's pretty fucking hard to waste 20 minutes of my Saturday looking for a hard drive. And I don't even work here. You're getting paid to be here, mate. Like, I could not believe it. I was fuming, mate. It was a bad start to my weekend. And that grabbed my attention big time.
I'm sure it did. Did you actually say that stuff to them, or did you literally just go,
I said, do you just leave them? No. The first time.
That part.
Oh, no, not that second bit.
Weekend. No. You wasted my weekend.
No, but I said it with my eyes. It's the poor second girl. She copped it. Anyway.
That's top notch. That's good. BYO segment next week is just like you trying to pick a hard drive. Maybe we'll find you a hard drive. All right, Dennis, back on to Big Bash. As much as I love to tell stories about office work, so I can't say who.
Hey.
Yeah, I figured that.
Not naming names.
Oh, not naming names. No. What's next?
Well, do we want to do the Big Bash next week? Because this was our little prelude of what's been going on. We'll do an in-depth.
We'll give it a brush. We'll give it a quick brush, and then
all right.
Yeah, we'll do a bit more of an in-depth preview next week. So
brush it.
I'm gonna brush it. I'll keep people up to date. This is if you haven't read anything about the Big Bash, first of all, kudos. But second of all, the hubs are going to be in Tasmania and the ACT, as I alluded to earlier in the show. And that's for the first 2 weeks, approximately. They will be having a Brisbane-Adelaide game on the 23rd of December. When does Big Bash start, Denim? It's the 10th of November? December?
10th of December.
That's it.
It's funny, it was actually booked in for the 3rd of December, and I was working towards that date, and then they just, out of nowhere, released a schedule saying we've got a final schedule, and it's the 10th. But I guess it's to do with the hubs, and you can't blame anyone for changing plans during 2020, so...
It's good to see the little guy. I mean, Tasmania and ACT, I assume, are little guys. I've never been to either state. I'm sure they're bloody lovely. However, having the games all in there will be good for them. They don't, there's no footy kicking around there. So I think it's a good move by the Big Bash. They know they're a little bit more niche. So Tasmania and ACT, probably not the first choices for them, but if it's easy, bring some revenue to them, I think it's a good move. Now, the second thing I wanted to touch on, Denim, and I'll brush it quickly, is what I alluded to
just
before.
on Hub Life, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, no, go for it.
Do move that, sorry to interrupt. Starkey was quoted, we didn't bring this up earlier, did we?
No, I don't think we did. Starkey signed.
Unsustainable for the Big Bash players or cricket players in general to remain in hubs for all this time because the boys that are in the IPL that are coming back for either test matches or one-day internationals or whatever they're doing, they are going to be in hubs for what looks like to be 6 months pretty much on the trot. There'll be a few breaks here and there, but he's basically said that they've earned their money playing in the IPL and it's a lot of it, so fair enough, but... It is going to be a bit of a mental toll on the players, especially the Australian internationals that are going to be in these arrangements for very extended periods of time, and you wonder when the off-season is going to come.
Yeah, look, it's hard to even comment on it being an outsider. I mean, we have this tendency as sports fans to occasionally just go, they get paid money, so they should be able to do what they need to do to entertain me, which isn't really it's relatively closed-minded, and I think more people are becoming a bit more aware of that. And I think it has to take a toll, like, sitting in, spending 6 months with yourself for some people is going to be a massive issue. I'd personally love to be in a hub. Get a lot done, I imagine. But unfortunately, I'm no good at cricket, football, or anything.
What would you get done?
I've been working on a screenplay, so that would get done. Definitely.
David Warner's been working on a few screenplays on TikTok.
Has he?
He's been getting a bit done on TikTok. I don't know if he's still on there.
I'm not on TikTok. I'm not working on a screenplay, but
Instagram Reels fills that void now. We've got Reels, so it doesn't matter. But
it doesn't matter.
There is on the other side of that coin, though. Yes, it's obviously a really challenging time to be in a hub for that long, but. You look at Mitchell Starc, he didn't go to the IPL. He has foregone like $1 million to just stay at home with his wife and spend some quality time. So the sports stars do have the option. It's always there. They can just sit out for a bit and they'll probably be okay financially. So
that's it.
Maybe we'll find some doing that next year.
Yeah, I don't actually think it's more the mental toll of being in, I guess, in a hub. It's almost the things that go with it. Like you can't socialise with your friends. You can't really do this. You can't do that. And, when your mates are all going out and they're playing grade cricket or whatever and they're, having a good one, getting on the circuit, you're probably sitting there going, well, fuck, man, is it worth it? Is it like, I don't care. I don't really have any sort of horse in this race. It's not like the Sydney Sixers or my childhood team. And, they're a really great bunch of boys. They're all just kind of a bunch of strangers that kind of know each other through cricket and then, just are forced to played 20. I'm not going to compare it to hard labour, but I'm saying that these Big Bash boys, I will do it, and good on them for playing. But realistically, I think it's probably the last thing that Starkey needs to participate in. I'm sure he's got enough onions under his belt, as it were. So if he does, that's great. But if not, it is what it is.
And the Big Bash hubs aren't going to be that arduous. They'll probably be like I've seen the cricketers here in Adelaide walking around the streets. Yeah. I don't know if that's called a hub, but they'll be doing that essentially, just staying in a city, won't they? It's because there's probably no virus where they are. So
true. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully, there's no.
It's the IPL hubs where they're pretty sure they have to sit in a hotel room like the entire time, and that's a bit more taxing.
Absolutely. The other thing that I touched on, Denim, was the Channel 7 boss, and I just wanted to read this quote because I found it quite amusing. It was about Cricket Australia. This is from Channel 7 boss James Warburton, and he said, "It's the most incompetent administration I've ever worked with. It's a train wreck. We are forced to consider all our options, including terminating the contract, and we have put them on notice. This is not an acceptable product, and we will not support the season." This is really hard-hitting shit. We will not support the season. Cricket Australia have an obligation to deliver a competition of no less a standard than the past. How stupid to schedule international cricket against the BBL and drain the resources of a competition already under pressure. Well, Denham.
He's got a point.
He does. However, as the boss of Channel 7... I think that sometimes making these sorts of comments, like it's the most incompetent administration I've ever seen and all this sort of stuff.
They've blown it up. Like Channel 7 and Cricket, they've blown Cricket Australia up. They don't care for they want to get rid of the rights. They don't care for it. They paid so much for it and they're not getting really what they thought they were. The Big Bash audiences are down. It's a meaningless competition. You don't even care that it's coming up and you do a podcast about it. They did take him to court.
It's for kids.
I don't know what happened with the legal process, but Channel 7 definitely weren't going to pay the full amount. But I think I might have read something about they did come to some sort of arrangement that you'd assume would be a bit of a discount, because every other sport gave a discount to their broadcast partners, and cricket just thought they'd dig their heels in. And even though their broadcast rights were probably the most exorbitant for what you get, like they're not going to be that expensive ever again.
No.
They weren't willing to give a discount, which is just a continuation of a pretty poor handling of this whole pandemic from Cricket Australia. That's cost the CEO his job. Sorry, so
cost him his boss too.
He is the boss. He cost the boss the job.
It's cost his boss his job. I just thought I'd give a bit of a tit for tat in defence of.
Out of steam.
In defence of Cricket Australia, Channel 7, probably not the most competent administration in the world. So I've found an article from less than a year ago that said the network was found to have breached broadcast standards with a highly offensive segment, and it was about Aboriginal children. And one of the commentators said, some children removed from their families in the stolen generations were taken for their own good, and perhaps the government should do it again. So I'll just leave that there. Now, Denham.
Bit of this, bit of that.
Bit of this, bit of that. I think that's probably enough of a brushstroke on Big Bash. I don't think anyone's really going to want to listen to any more Big Bash content until maybe next week, when we have some things in the pipes. I'm not going to say that, we're going to get them anytime soon.
We'll have a look at the Big Bash. We probably won't. We're not going to get as serious about it, though, are we?
No, we may be full IPL next week. We'll see. If the Mumbai Indians get up and the pipes are flowing, as it were, then we may have a big interview for you. Huge, but don't.
No, I wouldn't go that fast. It wouldn't be next week, but
okay.
We'll have something for you.
All right. Next week,
more schedules.
Next week we'll have some shit. We'll probably, bring on a couple guests throughout the year if we can get them.
That's all right.
We tried.
We'll just do what we can do. We don't want to commit to anything. We'll do what we can do.
That's very true. So you're downplaying this whole thing because I know that you do the work here. I don't really do much. I just rock up and talk. So I mean, if your pipes are true, which they are, good pipes.
It'll be fun. It'll be good fun.
Not like going to Office Works. No.
Oh.
Are you going to get a hard
All
one
right.
this weekend?
Oh, I did get one. She got me the cheaper one because it was the one that's not for Mac. They didn't have that one, and she actually ended up saving me about $40. So.
Well, you left that
Also
part
as
out
well.
very conveniently. Well, that's tied up in a nice little package. Hopefully, I got an
Time
update
is
on
money, Jake, and I lost a lot of time doing that. So
time is money. That's about the amount of time that I've spent searching for Sextillion7thpower. So, if anyone's got their hands on some, I'd love some, or can point me in the direction of someone who owns it. Please do so because I need to get busy. All right, thank you, Denim.
put a bow on this one, mate.
Yeah, good lines, good areas.
No, what's the line you always do? Just
Oh, yeah. Have a lovely evening, morning, or afternoon. See what I did there? A little bit of it. Yeah. Take care of yourselves. We'll probably see you next week.